Speed. More and more congestion. The rise of chaos. How can life be so fast and yet at the same time so slow? This is all part of life in the fast lane. It's the world we live in. Every day millions of drivers are together at the same place, same time. It seems ironic how everyone wonders why it is so congested and crowded, angry at the fact that there's just too many of us, when in reality they are part of the cause. Ignoring the problem definitely will not solve the problem, as we see that the population in Southern California is skyrocketing. It's beginning to take its toll on an important aspect of Southern California dwellers, the freeway. The end of World War II marked the birth of Southern California as an economic giant.
All of the military men, the servicemen who were stationed out here and were traveling through California realized what a paradise it was. So that was the beginning of a great population explosion.
As America's automobile population rose dramatically, it became increasingly evident that an improved national highway system was urgently needed. Business began to replace agriculture as the dominant force in the region's economy. Orange groves gave way to the residential development, homes for the region of newcomers to this land of opportunity. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower appointed a committee to look into the matter of creating a network of modern access highways.
We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions.
The Interstate Highway Act, which he signed in 1956, authorized the building of a nationwide highway network, 41,000 miles of expressways. The new roads, in turn, encouraged the development of new suburbs farther from the cities. An interstate system also would have great impact on military benefits, as Eisenhower's original plan for freeways was for faster and more efficient military transportation all across the United States.
But it's been a boon to this country, the freeways, and they really started happening in the early 50s when President Eisenhower became President of the United States. And he knew and could foretell the problems if this country was attacked and we didn't have a good freeway system from California to New York and from the Canadian border to the Mexican border, we would be in trouble.
Interstate highways also made high-speed, long-haul trucking possible. Towns along the new highways prospered, while towns along the older, smaller roads experienced hard times. The system of highways also helped unify the nation. The Interstate Highway Act did stimulate a boom in superhighway construction, a boom that would last for over 2 decades. With access to cars, affordable gas, and new highways, more and more Americans hit the road. They flocked to mountains, lakes, national parks, historic sites, and amusement parks for family vacations. Disneyland, which opened in July 1955, attracted 3 million visitors the next year.
Because of the freeway system, it empties right there in Anaheim if that's where they want to stop. And the value is so tremendously great. It was a boon to all of us who live in California now.
The freeway sped up the transition from rural farmland to urban life. Wide open, uncongested roads allowed for commuters to quickly get to their jobs and companies to efficiently ship their goods all across Southern California. Yet cars in the freeway also created new problems for both society and the environment. Noise and exhaust polluted the air tremendously. For the great majority of us who live in cities, congestion and pollution are somehow accepted. No one can imagine, however, that smog is an exclusively Southern California problem. If the freeway was originally known to have caused this much damage to our environment, its idea would be discontinued. Exhaust and pollution from the freeway sits right on students' campuses. Unfortunately, the pollution has serious effects on children's health.
That is to make sure we are not building new schools near busy roadways.
Short-term effects include itchy eyes, runny nose, and asthma attacks result from pollution. Additionally, pollution decreases lung development in the long run. Data also shows that it can cause the development of asthma as well.
For a school that is right near a busy freeway, honestly, there's not a lot that can be done to protect those children.
The safety of students will continue to hang over Los Angeles schools, as pollution yet still remains an issue. Tens of millions of Americans are sufficiently aware of this situation and express grave concern, yet few of them limit their driving to any significant degree. At the same time, the freeway's negative impact upon the ecosystem must be reduced, and soon, to avoid consequences that will still be more drastic. Congestion has become, by far, the biggest problem for freeways. An average California driver spends 72 hours a year in high traffic. This problem just wastes everyone's time dramatically, and the quality of life is diminishing, all because of freeway congestion. Today, far too many only rely on the freeway as a means of transportation and have ignored other ways to get around. This is where the problem starts, when the freeways cannot handle the amount of drivers at the same place and time. Carpool lanes have been tried, but everyone knows that they are just as congested as the rest of the lanes. Here's the typical LA freeway, moving slowly at rush hour. The problem is that the carpool lane is suffering from its success. So many drivers use the fast lane, and it is only moving at about 20 miles per hour. If we do nothing about this, the whole freeway system will slow down even more, and life will become far worse than what it is today. When a freeway goes under construction, drivers suffer as lanes are limited, and it takes many years just to complete this process of adding in new lanes.
Adding in one more lane might just be a reason for more people to get on the freeway and just might cause more congestion.
But one system seems to keep coming back to mind, a system that will take the burden off the freeways and have life in the fast lane running smoothly. With freeways already full to the limits, high-speed rail systems can easily offer a way to ease the California freeways from its congestion to allow for fast-flowing lanes. The rail system will provide a perfect way to move across California faster than ever, and at the same time give California freeways a break.
With the passenger rail system, much like how President Eisenhower did many years ago with the interstate highway systems. It's a transportation plan not for the 20th century, but for the 21st century.
We believe America is ready to embrace a new level of passenger rail service that offers safe, convenient, and a sustainable way to travel from city to city. We're not aiming to replace the interstate system that has served us for decades, but we do want to offer people a choice to leave their cars behind, reduce fuel consumption, and cut back on emissions. That's why we need high-speed rail.
This, in turn, will have less congestion than ever imagined. Imagine life with the freeways clear. It will take stress and chaos away from everyone. California will be a much better place to live in if freeway congestion is reduced. And with the looks of it, the only reasonable solution is the rail system.